And here we go. We are live. What do you know? Just wanted to say Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope everybody had a blessed and wonderful holiday. I know this time last week we told everybody that we were going to take a 2-week break. Damn it, we love doing this too much. And we found a little window of opportunity, and we wanted to spend it with y'all. Spread a little bit of our holiday cheer, our holiday love. Hope everybody out there is doing great, doing well. Let's pull up and share episode 21. 2022 has been a hell of a year. We're about to wrap it up and talk about it, and talk about some of the misses of the year, talk about some of the hits of the year. But I think it was a great year. All hits, no skips for me for the most part. But just so, in case you don't know, you got a couple faces on the screen here. To my right, I got my co-host. I got Italy Mob 24, a.k.a. the Crunch Media CEO, a.k.a. the great director, Nick Fatika. To my left, I got Scotty Doesn't Know. I got Scooter McGavin. To my left, a.k.a. Scooter Teasy. Never called him that one before, and I probably won't do it again. But just came to me. Getting ready to get the first sip in of the day, and it is your host, El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything he motherfucking knows, a.k.a. Space Mountain Stony, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, a.k.a. call me whatever you will, just don't call me broke or sad. It's Mr. Keep the Love High and the motherfucking hate low. Merry Christmas, everybody. How we feeling? How we feeling after the holiday weekend? Nice long holiday weekend.
I'm tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
It wore you out?
I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I definitely feel like I definitely enjoyed the weekend. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't get very much done.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't get very much done. Like, music wise, I mean, I wrote here and there.
I wrapped a couple presents.
Oh, so you did that kind of rapping.
Yeah.
I did more rapping presents than I did rapping this weekend. But hey, it's good to take time off. Enjoy time with your families. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. And just, use those couple of days sometimes even just like that to unwind, and almost feels like you hit a reset button,
Yeah.
Like that shit. It's like the
like
best way to close out the year. My weekend was great. Loved everything I got. Very grateful for all the gifts. I thought everybody hit home runs as far as the gifts went. Glad everybody liked the gifts that we got them as well. I will talk on that real quick. I'm now noticing what married life is like when you're buying gifts for people. So I've noticed it's like she tells me like, oh, hey, like we bought for this one and that one. And, we bought for all these people. And I realized like after like 3 days, it was actually on a Friday night. I was just drinking and she's like wrapping everything. And I'm like, so like who's for what? Like, I don't want them to like open it and I'll just be like, oh yeah, like that scene in Liar Liar where he's like, baseball stuff. Really like had no idea what his assistant got his kid. So like now I realize it's like it's from the both of us. And let me tell you right now, it makes it so fucking easier as far as the shopping for other people. Oh my God, that makes it so easy. It's like, and she knocked it out of the park though too. Like, I mean, she puts way more like extra. Like I look at it like, fuck, what did I see him in the last time when I saw him? Like
Right.
Sometimes it's hard for me to shop for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
But no, everything went great. Had a Christmas party last night at a friend's house, friend of the show's house, Koozie.
Happy birthday, Coos.
Yes, happy birthday, Koozie. Shake and bake, brother.
I still think we need to investigate behind the scenes dealings because 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you want to investigate because I got 3 wins in a row now. I'm turning into I'm coming for Billy.
Cal should have beat Nick.
I hope you know that
Cal
you
should've
stand
fucking
alone
beat
on that hill on that
Do
one.
not stand
You stand alone on that hill. Nick Jenkins is.
I'm not saying he's not bad, not good. I'm just saying that he should have lost the winner take all.
I don't know. I guess that was the way the cookie had to crumble. Unfortunately, Scott.
Apparently,
You'll get him next time,
it's
though.
all right.
You'll get him next time, Scott.
Caskey's gonna sweep Asher
You think so?
for sure. I want to do.
What if Asher
I want
wins?
to do a 14-round battle so I can top the 12-0.
Oh, you really think so?
I do.
Okay, we can give it a shot because it's not gonna happen. Watch me win in the winner take all on round 15.
I will never appear on Sleepless.
Oh, that's too fucking good. That's funny. So how was your holiday, Nick?
It was good. It was nice hanging out with family and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Kind of just stayed at home, really.
So you built we talked about it before,
Yeah,
but the Darth Vader.
yeah. I got so one of my cool presents I got was a Darth Vader Lego set, and so today was my day off, so I decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna sit here and build this thing.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
By the way, if you think that my eye looks a little fucked up at some point, totally understand it. The right side of my face, the sinuses implode. So I don't know if it's from my years of candy, AK / God's M&Ms, AK Percocet abuse years ago. But my nose is fucked on the right side of my face when it gets really cold outside. So that kind of sucks. But besides that, glad everybody had a blessed, wonderful holiday. Hope everybody watching, tuned in, had a blessed, wonderful holiday as well. And it's not over yet. Still got a week to close it out with a bang and go into the new year strong. Which, by the way, he did mention Caskey versus Asher. That will be New Year's Day, bringing in the new year. So we're looking forward to that as well. So let's wrap up 2022. Highlights. Let's start with music. We usually always start with music. So let's start with music. Highlights throughout the year. It doesn't necessarily have to be top 5, but if you do want to share it, I do think that'd be cool.
I sent the top 3 in the chat.
You sent yours? Yeah, let's read off some picks here. I like that. Let's read off some picks here. So, whoever put that question in, that was cool, by the way. PJ. So, you said Tana Talk 4.
Yeah.
Great project. Herbert.
Sir.
Great project. 2000.
Yes.
I remember we had a phone call not too long ago, and we were just shooting the shit, bullshitting. There's something about that album that it every once in a while, albums like this do this to me. The more I listen to it, I feel like I almost have to stop now, because the more I listen to it, it like gets more downhill for me.
That's how Forever Story was.
And yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah, like both of them work the opposite way. Like, and it happens every once in a while. It's the weirdest thing. Like, another album that did that to me, and everybody, it always blows their mind because I'm a huge Gambino fan. I can't listen to Because of the Internet anymore, because if I do, I get mad almost. I'm like, why don't I like you? I'm like, everybody.
All good, just a week ago.
That sounds nice. I'll give you that one. That's Sweatpants, right?
No, it's 3005.
Oh yeah, that's right. So your 3 picks, though, I mean, they really are. They're great. I mean, I even though 2000
biased for me, I wanted to put Caskey in, but realistically, Caskey dropped 3 really good projects this year, but none of them touch those 3 albums. Not even close.
Fair enough.
But still, all love to Cass. Cass killed it.
How about you, Nick?
3, what was it?
Yeah, you can give 3.
We did top 3.
Top 3 projects for this year?
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily even have to be hip hop, just whatever.
That's a good question.
You don't have to give just 3 either, because I'll probably spin off my 3 sleeper picks, because you know me, I just love doing this shit.
I actually have to look into it, so maybe you want to go first, and then I'll.
Okay. Me, number 1, The Forever Story. I got that I played the shit out of that, which is actually interesting because DiCaprio 2 I used to listen to a lot. I listened to it so much that like I eventually just got away from it. And I've seen JID before too at the Garage Shop when him and the Earth Gang just got signed to Dreamville. And I've really just been following that guy's story. The first song I ever heard from was Ed, Edd n Eddy, and I think The Forever Story is just a great fucking project. I talked about that on the Sleepless Radio 3rd Annual Awards, available on YouTube and Instagram as well. Number 2, I got Mr. Morale, which I know that didn't even probably get in your top 10.
Not even close. I listened to that project once, and
I have that
will
album.
not go back.
I have that album on CD, and I downloaded it on Apple Music. I didn't buy it, but I downloaded it on Apple Music right at midnight.
I listened to it once, and I won't do it again.
You know, you're not an Auntie's Diary guy?
No.
Put on that shit at the club? Number 3, though. Now, I do remember that same phone call I just mentioned with you. I mentioned an album that keeps getting better with every listen. Drill Music and Zion, Lupe Fiasco. That album is fun. When he starts going on Autobado, and I actually look at the lyrics, that rhyme scheme is fucking... Here's what I'll say, because I know we're not like very staunch pro Eminem on this show. I want to see Eminem do that. You rap really fast, but say some shit. Like that dude.
He won't.
Like that dude's talking. Like you really look at the lyrics. I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. I was like, oh fuck, and then it hit me. I was like, why can't M just do that?
Vanilla
then?
Gorilla.
Like,
Vanilla Gorilla.
also though, the one thing though that confuses me about Lupe is he has this beef with Kid Cudi, but neither of them will address what it is, and they just say that the other one knows what it is and it can't be mended. And me being petty old selfish me, I'm like, that's not enough for me. I need to know what it is. What is it? I need to know your personal. What? I need to know your personal business. What happened?
Poking around.
I just wonder what the fuck could it be. Those are two weird people to not like each other.
I don't know. You know, see people not get along over some pretty dumb shit.
You know what I think it is? Because my imagination runs wild. I think it was a studio fight, and one of them won it. But they're so like cool that they're like, I don't fuck with you still, but we're gonna keep that between us. And I just wonder who it was.
Cudi's from Cleveland. I gotta give it to him.
Lupe's from Windy City though. I don't know. But
Well,
either
then
way
you know
though,
what? Then we're definitely giving it to Cudi because the Cubs got the World Series, which means Cudi wins the fight.
either way
So
though,
we're gonna go with that theory. Cudi.
maybe that's
Cudi
where the
beat
shit talk.
Lupe.
Maybe that we got it. We figured it out. That's what happened. It was right around the time. It probably dates back to that. They were in the studio. Cubs just did the comeback win. Lupe was lit. He started talking shit.
And Cudi popped.
Cudi was like, "Not tonight. I got this shit from Ye on the phone and you in person. Fuck you." Hit Lupe because he was mad at both of them. We got it. You heard it here first. Pull up a chair, episode 21. We cracked it. We figured it out. Case closed.
Cudi's gonna see this and be like, "Damn, you guys got it."
Wouldn't it be funny if he quoted and he's like, "That's actually some fuck shit because you guys actually nailed it." So there it is, people. We broke it. We beat TMZ to it this time, you rat bastards. My 3 sleeper picks: Tana Talk 4, Few Good Things, Saba. It's Almost Dry, Pusha T, because I've actually been listening to that album again over the past couple weeks.
Respectable.
Saw Kuzi said, I'm just rattling off theirs real quick.
Mr.
Kuzi
Morale
said
was in there for Kuzi.
he gave 6. He said, Mr. Morale, Her Loss, Few Good Things, Forever Story, Melt My Eyes, and From a Bird's Eye View.
Her loss, really?
I actually don't mind that up there.
I mean,
I love
it was
that album.
decent. Like I'd revisit it, but I don't know that I'd put it.
21.
In the top 10.
Can you do
top 10.
something for me? Can you hit a little rich flex
That
for
is
me?
really fun. I do like that.
That shit's an anthem.
Do you think 21?
This shit costs a lot. That bitch thicker than the plot. Nate said, Mr. Morale, Dawn FM, Sick, Earl Sweatshirt, American Heartbreak, Zach Bryan, and Melt My Eyes, Denzel Curry.
Is this what we're getting instead of Raw tonight? Sorry, it's a really weird sidetrack, but are we just getting highlights for the year?
Actually, you know
think
what?
so.
You're right.
That's some. If that's what we get for Raw this week, that's boof.
That actually is what it is, but I'll leave it on. Fuck it. But that actually is the case. I forgot that they advertised it just like that, too.
I don't like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Vince ever do that?
Probably not.
I don't think he ever did that.
I don't know. Vince never had good ideas. Okay, I can't say never. He did have the idea.
As soon as I said Vince never did that, you're like, maybe they're on to something.
This shit was so fucking funny when they tilt the ring.
I'm actually glad, though, that they're doing that because that's going to help with some of my wrestling once we get there on, like, wrapping that shit up.
Yeah.
But let's keep talking music. What's your picks? Did you...
Yeah, so I gotta go with number 1 with "Tell Me It's Over" by Wallows.
Okay. I remember
was-
you...
It was
Kinda
such a
put me on to
killer album, and it also came around the same time I went and saw them in concert. So
That's
the
who you
whole
saw,
experience
yeah.
was dope. Number 2, I gotta go with, I believe it's what is it called? Midnight. Yeah, Midnight's by Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah, that was a good album.
Is that legit?
Yeah, I'm being legit. I do like
Okay.
I do.
I just had to make sure.
He said he's that legit.
I mean, remember, we're Swifties on this show, so if you weren't legit, it would be pretty sick.
I'm not a Swiftie.
And then number 3, I gotta go to this. There's this YouTuber that I like. he announced that he was making an album last year, and it got pushed back until this year, called Rom-Coms. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then my shout out, even though they haven't made an album, they've been making singles, is that Joey Valence and Bray.
Oh yeah, I remember you put me onto that actually. That's some good shit.
That
I
is
fuck with
some
that.
Solid shit right there.
They already got a Logic feature too, so that's fucking lit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that's pretty.
Shout out
That's
Logic.
actually awesome. But no, as far as music goes, I feel like again it was a great year. A lot of great music came out this year, which was very refreshing, because I feel like we hadn't seen that since maybe 2018, 2019, maybe, because I know COVID, obviously, which I get it. A lot of people weren't dropping projects. I totally understand. So it was cool to see everybody come back out. And, I went to a couple shows this year. That was cool. Like you said, you went to the Wallows.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see, saw Wiz Logic. That was a
Saw
great
Wiz
show.
Logic.
Saw some cover bands at the Ledges. That was dope. And I ended up going
We saw the cover band of House of Blues.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Also, that the main act for that show is so smart. So they open the show as their own band with their own music and original work. Then you had like the filler, right?
Yeah, the
the
runner-up or
main, like
something.
the first main group, right?
Yeah.
And they did their thing where they covered a bunch of punk rock or grunge. I think it was grunge DNA.
Yeah.
And then in the headline, the main group that went on first and did the originals came back out
And said, hey, we
and
can do
did,
the Nirvana
and did all
songs.
Nirvana.
And like, hey, we
Yeah.
also know how to do all these.
Yes.
That's actually really
It
cool.
was
Yeah,
such a
that was
smart
really
I
layout
like how
for
they
the show.
did that. That's cool.
I do
Cheers,
get
by the way.
I do get a fun show to go to this Friday as well. My brother and his wife, officially, got us tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Dude,
on
let's
Friday.
go. I'll be there.
Fuck
You're
yeah,
both
dude!
there?
Hell yeah!
Yeah, Friday night.
Hell yeah! We're going.
That's
we're supposed
lit.
to get dinner downtown and somewhere on East 4th, I think, at like 4:30, and then we have the show. So
Hell yeah.
I'm hyped for that because like I've always fucked with their Christmas music and I've never seen them, so I'm super hyped for that show.
Oh yeah. Friday, I'll be celebrating my 5-year anniversary with wifey.
There you go.
Oh, dude.
5-year
hell
dating
Yeah.
anniversary. We're gonna go to looks like the Cheesecake.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be cool.
Respectable.
It'll be first time. The 2 times we went to go do it before, crazy long wait. So
That
this time
doesn't
I'm
shock
calling
me.
ahead, and I'm like, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me
Like-
at all. If you can't get in there, if you're looking to spend money, try Capital.
We were
It's like,
thinking,
right,
we were
Capital
thinking maybe
Grille's
the melting pot.
I'm not a fan of Melting Pot.
Like the
Part-
fondue on the table.
I wasn't much of a fan. It's really confusing how to order there too. Because You gotta like order certain things, but you can't do certain things in certain dips. Like,
And
it's
if you
really-
order
it's really
something,
weird.
it has to come with a
Right.
very specific side.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm not the biggest fan. I would say over in that general area, I think it's called Capitol Grill. It's like right next. It's like the big white building right next to Cheesecake Factory. I'd say go there. They got some good food.
That's interesting.
Pricey, but good.
Oh yeah.
They just buried Brock.
Oh, and I also went to the Post Malone show, 12 Karat Tooth.
I'd like to see Posty.
That was a great show.
That's cool.
That was a great show. Doja Cat came out for the I Like You performance. That was cool as fuck. Pussy Fat.
Oh, I
Doja
saw
Cat's gas.
Dragon Force.
Oh, the Through the Fire and Flames?
Yeah, that was.
Where'd you
pretty
see them
dope.
at?
Agora.
Oh, okay.
Saw them. I actually took photos of them. I
Now,
had a
That's
photo
dope.
pass.
That's dope.
Is there on that is dope. Is there encore Through the Fire and Flames, I'm
They
assuming?
actually opened it up.
With Through the Fire and
That's
Flames?
Yeah, they opened it up.
That's-
I
That
feel
was
like
the
a genius way to
coolest
do it
fucking-
though, because everybody I feel like would be trying to get that song out of them.
Yeah.
To get it out of the way rather
Like,
than
hey, we get it, it's the Guitar Hero
Yeah.
song. We'll do it.
yeah.
Now let's get on to the other shit.
Yeah, they had a sweet show. They really were hyping the fans up and like getting involved with them and stuff.
That's awesome. That is cool. I saw that the Agora has a show coming up March 3rd I want to see, actually. Theory of a Dead Man.
Mm.
Skillet opens up.
Oh,
I
That
think
show
that'd
had-
be a cool show.
that'd be cool.
I've seen Theory before at the House of Blues, too, and they're really popping.
I might be making a flight. I want to say it's sometime in March to go to Indiana to see Dave Matthews.
Oh.
That'd be a good.
You ever got to see them before? I think you have, right?
No, I
No.
was going to, but I didn't want to DD, so I decided not to go.
But you called a good one on that one.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Dave and not getting fucked up.
That was like, I thought it was crazy when I told Spatrino, I was like, yeah, I'll be the DD of the Jay-Z show. And
How'd that go?
He was justifiably a little nervous on the way home, but we left. This is the thing though with the Jay-Z show, and I actually talked about this not too long ago. One of those shows where every once in a while you'll go to a movie or something and this shit happens. We go in, it's cold, but it's not inkling of snow, nothing like that. It's just cold. Go in the show, we get there a little early, get in there, get food, drinks, Jay-Z performs, all good shit. We leave, it's about 11:30, come out, it's about 4, 5, 6 inches of snow on the ground, somewhere like that.
Oh man,
Snowing,
Not fun.
blizzard. I'm pretty buzzed, and hey, we don't promote this behavior. We just talk about stories and how you can learn from our dumbasses.
I'm not a dumb.
I quickly, well, at one point, I think it's all fair to say we made some bad judgment calls. I think.
Absolutely.
So this was a bad judgment call. I got behind the wheel, said, fuck it. We're not, Nick said, do you want to do the hotel? I said, no. I was like, I don't feel, at the time I worked at Mark's. I was like, I don't have hotel money. I was like, fuck that. So we're driving home, and immediately, I'll be honest, as soon as I get on the highway, I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this. So I was like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. So I just do what I always do, roll the window down, started smoking a mild, carried us home. But walking out of that show, though, and seeing that, I was like, oh,
That doesn't sound like fun.
and I asked Nick, I was like, you drink at least less than me. And he goes, I've never done it before, and I'm not open to doing it. He goes, I don't even want to try it. I was
I
like,
don't blame
fair
him.
enough.
I don't blame him.
He goes, at least you've done it before. And I'm like, fuck.
You're out here snitching on yourself on camera.
I did that in 2017.
Cotton for
I snitched
Caught
myself,
for it.
snitch on myself from 5 years ago.
cotton 4K.
What are you gonna pull me over when I'm on my way to work at 2 p.m? I don't fucking do any of that bullshit now, and I don't support it either. Be safe about it. Don't do that shit.
That's why I don't drink when I come over your house. It's because I know I have to drive.
Yeah, I've had some people do that too, where I see them leaving, and I'm like, maybe you should just sleep here for the night. Maybe you should just call it.
I think I've had a total of 2 beers in your house.
I remember years ago, I had a buddy. I won't say his name, but he came over. And he was leaving after like one of my birthday parties. It was like 4 a.m. And like I had that vibe to just be like, why don't you just stay here? But I was like, okay, he's leaving, fuck it. And he goes to walk out the door, and he stumbled so bad that he like fell into the yard. And I like just came out the door. I was like, hey, dude,
You're not driving.
like get back in the house. I was like, because like I saw him get up and like still look like he's gonna like start moving, and I'm like, come back in. He's like, are you sure? He's like, sure you won't mind? I was like, not at all.
Not
You need
even-
it. Yeah.
You driving is completely.
He
out of
actually
the
ended up
question.
saying, he goes, for real? He goes, I think I was just going to make it, because he parked on the street. He's like, I think I was just going to make it to my car and just sleep in the car for real. I was like, oh, shit. Like, nah, you don't have to do that. But yeah, fun times. But yeah, no, show recaps of this year. Wiz Logic was a lot of fun. That was actually my favorite Wiz experience.
That
so
was the
cool.
weirdest concert for me.
You went to the Cincy one.
So it was
I went to
weird
the
for
Cleveland
me
one.
because I was a big Wiz fan going in, and I did not like Logic going in, and I left the show a Logic fan and lost respect for Wiz. Wiz's performance was very weird, like to the point that like at one point one of the guys I was like my buddies that I was with just looked over and just goes, "What the fuck is going on?" And when that happens at a show for me, usually I mentally check out. And
He
like,
had a lot going on the stage.
dude, it's not even just that he had like at one point I didn't even know what song was playing. It was just his drummer literally was just going nuts. It was like a 3-minute drum solo, and he was up there fucking the fog with the smoke gun. Like,
See, I remember you said that, and we didn't really have that happen.
no, dude, it was weird. He was like on the ground and like humping the fucking smoke gun, and
You-
I'm like,
you know-
it went on for an uncomfortably long time.
And you know what? I'm
To
just
the
going to
point
throw
where
it
we
out
looked
there.
at each other and just said, like, what the fuck is this? Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there because I've seen this kind of happen a little bit before, just in a different way. And I think it actually just hit me what could have happened. It's really actually not too hard to think on it, but is there a chance that Wiz is just occasionally getting a bit too high before he goes on? To the point where, like, he's missing, like, show cues. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and overdoing shit. Because I noticed
there's video all the time of him that he posts on, like, he'll post videos on Instagram, and he does not always inhale. Like, if you pay attention, he'll just mouth hit it. A lot. Like, more often than you might think. Watch his videos. It's funny.
Maybe that leads to it. Because, like, maybe he knows if he gets too fried, like, that happens. Because what made me think about it was when you said that, I was like, well, everything went great, essentially, at my Wiz show. Like, yeah, at one point, it seemed like the DJ was kind of being a little extra on it. But, like, everything seemed to be flowing pretty good.
Yeah.
But it made me think back to when Snoop came through with Wiz. And, like, Wiz would, like, go to, like, do Snoop's verse. And, like, I noticed, like, the third time he did it, Snoop was like, yo, my man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you keep jumping in when I'm supposed to. Like, let me go. Like, and I noticed, like, after that, Wiz was, like, all of a sudden not doing the smoking on stage. Snoop was. And I don't know why, but it just made me think that, like, maybe Wiz is like, hey, I be getting fried.
Yeah.
Like, where Snoop is, like, high as a fucking 4 kites, and he's out there like, hey, yo, I'm on my shit.
Good, we're good.
Like,
Oh, no, it was just a really weird experience. And, like I said, when you look at the people you're with and just your response is, what the fuck?
I had a couple
the
shows
Logic
do that.
thing, like, Logic earned my respect. Like, I was not a fan going in, and then I watched him, and, like, at one point, something like the DJ hopped off stage to do something. I don't know if it was bathroom or drink or whatever. And, like, Logic went over and was like, hold up. And he just started making a beat on stage. And, like, it was cool as fuck.
that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I fucking
Also,
watched
his
it.
visuals were absurd.
And it was cool to see him back. Like, at one point, I thought in 2020, like, oh, we're done. We're never going to get him again.
Was he sick at your show?
Yeah, because it was right around the same time. He said it, too. He was like, getting over being sick, I'm a little nasally.
Yeah, no,
Or
he
something
was.
like
He
that.
was. He was like fevered at the Cincy show and still came out and did it. The other thing that irritated me was Wiz when he was performing just kept like, at one point wasn't even singing his songs. He's just like hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, and like if it was a drinking game, I would have been fucked up. Like not okay to like even walk to the car after like a song. So like. That was kind of irritating because you got the whole crowd like that knows the words to the Wiz songs that are getting played and they're singing and Wiz just like hands in the air,
Hands in there. Hands in there.
Like my hands have been in the air.
You're like, hey, yo, I'm trying to sing the fucking song.
They need a rest, man. Come on.
My hands are already in the air. I like the song, Wiz. Keep singing the damn song.
Their DJ's like a little
That's
fed
funny
too.
shit.
He's really funny because he's got the microphone beforehand and he's like, anybody underage say what's up, and everybody in the crowd that's underage would go crazy, be like, if you're smoking weed, say hell yeah, and like everybody in the crowd be like, hell yeah. Like, he's like, boys, we got them. They're over there.
Yeah, shit. Make it easy. That's funny as shit. Luckily, though, I mean, I won't go too much in on it, but luckily I've only seen a couple bad shows. Like, I've only seen a couple bad shows. Out of all the concerts I've been to, a couple bad shows. The Father show at the Garage Shop was by far the worst. No idea what I got myself into that
who?
night. His name is Father. He's from Atlanta. He was kind of popping. He had this song, Everybody in the Club Getting Fucked. And I liked that song, and at the time, I was just show crazy. And I saw that he was coming through. It was cheap. I was addicted to going to, like, the Grog Shop there for a period of time. I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled up to that show, Dolo. To this day, I somehow feel like I got violated at some point during that night. I don't really know how it happened. I don't know when it occurred. I don't know who did it. I don't know who to hold responsible. But something happened to me because I was never the same when I left that show. I came home disgusted with myself. Night was over. Wrap it up. I went to bed. Tried to forget. What'd you do last night? Oh, I just chilled in bed. I just relaxed. I didn't even openly come out and say that I went to that show for like 6 months. That show fucked me up.
So What happened at the show that fucked
Yeah,
you up?
what?
The openers were garbage. My Zan that I did before I went there felt like it was laced. The fucking bar service there felt like it was an eternity in between drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And the show absolutely sucked. At one point, people started moshing, and I couldn't figure that out because the music didn't really call for it.
Slow dance music,
And then
we're just shoving each
He
other
called
around
the
dance
first couple
floor.
rows of people up to the stage, and I happened to be in that first couple rows of people, and I got called onto the stage, and I didn't know a single word of this song that he just played. So everybody else is having a great time, and I'm just like, ugh. And like the way everybody was dressed, I'm not a fit shamer. But when I see fucking wallets hanging off the sides of pants attached to chains and piercings in places that they shouldn't be, I get scared. So that wasn't my atmosphere. That wasn't my energy.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into the wrong ball field that day. Riff Raff show that I went to the second time was a little rough. Drove 50 minutes away for a 20-minute set. That one was rough. Also, third would be Vic Mensa opening up for Jay-Z. We booed him off the stage. And collectively, we booed him off the stage.
Vic Mensa gets a lot of shit.
Vic Mensa career needs a 30 for 30 on it. I've said that forever. I'd watch an ESPN 30 for 30 on the Vic Mensa up and down career. Nobody's had a more up and down career than Vic Mensa. I dare you to try.
He was on Wild and Out twice, and the first time he went on, I'm pretty sure he got just filleted.
Yeah. Thought he was about to punch the one dude, Chico, and he called him Chance's bitch.
I love Chico.
He brought up Chance, and he said Chance's bitch or something like that. And Vic gave him that look like, how dare you? But I'm excited to see, though, how the Grammys fall coming into the next year, see what wins.
Machine Gun Kelly Grammy nominated.
Yes, and I think he might win, too. That'd be fucking dope.
He's sold the soul, that's why.
No, he's not a soul seller. I'm on.
Gets embarrassed by, I'm not going to call him embarrassed.
Now,
He
there
goes
is...
through the whole Eminem thing, gets all the grief from the industry. Then he marries Megan Fox and has 2 #1 punk rock albums, Grammy nominated.
Fuck yeah. It's because of that Megan Fox pussy be hitting. That shit's got fucking tentacles of jewels inside that just attach to
Hey, they're
you.
#1. That's all I'm talking. All the love to him. I love his logo's on my body for a reason.
That's true. Lace the fuck up. Then in 2022, we will talk about how let's cover just different moments in music, like outside of the studio. Like, obviously, I know I'll wrap up on when we get there about the one that I'm sure you have something to say about it. But
the Super
fuck
Bowl
it.
halftime show was dope.
Super Bowl halftime show, yes. Which was who again?
That was wasn't Dre.
Oh yeah, Dre and
Anderson
Eminem.
.Paak on the drums.
Yeah. No, and watching it at the bachelor party, that was fucking awesome.
Bro, Anderson .Paak looked like he was having the time of his life. And I I loved every second.
He was
of
for
it.
sure having fun. That's one thing I love
Mom and
about
Dad
Andy.
didn't really enjoy it that much.
Get down with it. My mom didn't like it. My dad did though. Remember though, that's literally like everybody up there is literally my dad's favorite in hip hop music. So like even with the Kendrick edition, like that's almost oddly weird.
Yeah.
Like that's his favorite. So like that was a really cool moment.
I
for
loved
him.
it. I could see how there would be, a collective of people that wouldn't like it, but I thought it was great. Like I said, knowing Anderson .Paak was on the drums, that's not something I feel like a lot of people would have picked up on.
Yeah, that was like you have to have the eye for
you
that.
you have to.
And he
know.
was really getting it. That was a great moment. Any moments you can think of, Nick? Good or bad?
I actually can't.
I'm trying to think now too. Well, Kanye. I don't want to touch too much on him because I feel like at this point we beat Kanye to a dead horse. But get well soon, Ye. You went off your fucking rails. Something nuts this year. He turned into Adolf Hitler. That shit. Yeah, that
so
shit.
bad.
Hey, Kanye, all I'm going to say is I don't support a single fucking thing that you've said this year, but get well soon. because I'm not gonna give that as an easy cop out to him. We need apologies, and you need to get help because that shit was fucked up. Another thing here, trying to think. Jack Harlow had a really crazy year. Had a great year. Great album. Future had a great year. Great album. Her Loss, great album. That was a moment. Let's just fucking get to it. Let's get to the verdict that was just reached a couple days ago. The Angry Elf, Tory Lanez, found guilty on all 3 charges.
I mean, are we really surprised?
I mean, I'm not. He shot Meg Thee Stallion. Case closed.
And then rapped on Aiden Ross. I don't give a fuck about your hose, your clothes, your manicured, pedicured toes. And shot her in the foot.
So you're with he shot her.
100%.
Okay. And he shot her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank God. No argument.
Meg deserves justice.
Meg deserved justice. I know you don't have a beer, but cheers.
What's he facing? He's 22 years. Like
so I will say this. I will say this, and this is for my pro Tory Lanez supporters out there. If you like him, fuck it. It is what it is. Even before I say what I'm about to say, but Tory Lanez he's awaiting a sentence that looks like, based on being convicted on those charges, looks like the official sentencing will be 23 years. However, he is filing an appeal, which
surprise.
The case
anybody would.
But the appeal that they're filing, I saw, is a special one, and I think that it's genius of the defense team that if they're going to do this, this is probably your best outcome. They're going to get the sentence reduced down to 10 years. And with that 10 years, he can then, after those 10 years, he'll have to be on parole for 5. I think that'll work because they're coming from the angle of like, look, at the end of the day, there wasn't DNA on the gun. Like, can we do something with that?
Realistically, though, is it hard to wipe prints off of a gun?
No. Well, that's actually what they even mentioned in court. They were like, well, there's something good and bad because they were like, give it to the forensics expert and see what he, let him come take the stand and tell you what he says. And when he gets to the gun, he goes, well, there's a good and bad thing about once I was able to determine, the prints on the gun. He goes, the good news, for defendant Tory, for Tory, is that the gun has no prints on it. Doesn't have his prints on it.
Mm.
But the bad news is that it doesn't have any prints on it. What do you mean nobody grabbed this gun?
Mm.
That's impossible. Somebody at one point held it, which means you wiped it off. You cleaned it down. You did whatever you had to do. You put it in boiling water, whatever you do.
Mm.
So, I just kind of thought that was okay, so that's a clear sign he wiped it down.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is obstruction of evidence.
What got him, though, to make the case close, and I was so glad for it to finally come out, because I think she realized how bad this was getting, that she was like, when Kelsey took the stand again, which she offered to do, so everybody was like, okay, what's this bitch about to say? Is this really going to help the case? Which it closed it, because she got up there and was like, all right, look, I got the wiring receipt. Yeah, Tory did try to bribe me to, I was going to take the fall, but, now this time's looking like there's too much time hanging above it, way more than we originally agreed to. Mm-hmm. I no longer agree to this. I returned every cent. Mm-hmm. And I think as soon as the judge heard that, he looked at him like, buddy, you going to jail. And now, because I bit my fucking tongue for over 2 years on this, I'm going to get my shit off real quick. So I pick up a cig. Tory Lanez, I know you're not watching this, but you are the biggest sucker to ever exist in hip-hop industry, underground, any way you put it. You are the biggest fucking sucker. Vulture, Diet Drake sounding, angry elf, look, biggest sucker to ever exist in hip-hop. You shot that woman, said that foul shit, had an audio come out of you laughing about it. You're a sucker. You're a weirdo. You're a punk bitch that's going to get stretched out and gaped in prison. That's the last time I'm ever going to talk about Tory Lanez.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Yeah.
Like how you're going at Tory like this, but Thugger got hit with the RICO, which means they have recorded evidence of him. And you defend Thugger.
Did he shoot a woman? Did he shoot a woman?
I want to hear the evidence that they have on the RICO tape before I confirm that. But my point is if you're charged with RICO, it means they have you on recorded audio discussing what has been done. And from the news I've heard, Thugger's facing life, which means they've probably got him on some very serious RICO stuff.
My thing with that
is
is
just funny to me to hear you come at Tory, but say free
now,
Thugger.
Well, I'll you know me, no problem explaining it. Young Thug, it's that to me is two way different cases right there. You got Young Thug. None of that shit reads to me any type of sucker, any type of energy.
I'm not
like
saying
that.
sucker or anything like that. I'm just saying like we know Tory did it at this point. He was found guilty, so we can confirm Tory did it, right?
Yeah.
The thing with the RICO case, and again, I want to hear the evidence. I want to hear what they have and what they've truly found. Mm-hmm. But if they have what they claim is conclusive to put him away for life, do you understand how serious what they caught him discussing has to be?
Well, supposedly it's really bad. I mean, obviously it's bad enough
that he's facing life in prison.
Well, and that he told the other YSL boys, like Gunna basically said that the last time him and Thug got to speak when they were locked up, that Thug was like pretty much giving off the vibe to the rest of the YSL guys, like, if this is going to fall on anybody, I brought y'all into this. Get the fuck out of here. Say whatever it is that you got to do to get home to your families. Because everybody thought, oh, gonna snitch. And then he just went on his first live back, and he was like, everything that I said in there, Young Thug told me to do. He goes, Young Thug told his attorney to tell mine to tell me. This is what Thug said to do. So now I will honor what you said. I do think that this looks really bad for him. And I think it also, though, that shows what great character at the end of the day, though, that Jeffrey Williams has. For him to be like, hey, look, instead of us all going down here and playing stupid,
I'll take it.
I dragged you all into this YSL shit. Get the fuck out. Like, this is going to fall on me.
That does show a lot of character. I will say that.
I think that was really cool of him, too. And every single one of them but him now is home. Mm-hmm. And they all got home before the holidays,
I did see that. That. Is there any kind of, like, update on when he's supposed to actually go to trial?
Well, now it turned worse because once that they all confirmed it and went into their court, and he told them to do it, though. Go in there. Yeah, YSL's a gang. Yeah, we did this. Yeah, we did that, too. Now they're saying, okay, well, now they got off because Thug's saying they really didn't have anything to do with it. They were just on the brand that was doing it and got roped into it all. So now they're taking all of that, like you said, all the audio, all this evidence that they got on him, because now they have to gather that all up, and it's right on him. It's all on him.
Yeah.
Which means Young Thugs, we're not going to get a new Thugger album, I'll tell you that one in a good old minute. At least not fresh recordings.
Yeah.
I mean, they already even said that he's so tied up in fuck shit and negative shit that he's actually not even going to be able to record in jail. It's like Bobby Shmurda level. Yeah. Damn. The other thing I saw on it, too, that came out in the one YSL guys is they've been tracking and having their phones and shit tapped in the studio tapped for like years now. And it eventually got so bad that they had to intervene because they were actually trying to have the investigation go on more. But unfortunately, the term that they used is people kept coming up missing. So it's like, oh, shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
They also linked him to when Lil Wayne got his bus shot up.
Mm-hmm.
They linked it to that. The driver got hit. They linked it to they pretty much linked him to some other crazy shit. The Yo Gotti shooting. They linked him to a lot of shit. And it all looks bad because it's like, oh, where did it happen? Oh, it happened in Atlanta. Well, how far away is that from the studio? 15 minutes? Fuck. So that attorney does not have an easy job in that courtroom.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Like, oh, God. But, man, I will always say, though, free Young Thug, get the man home. Till that verdict comes out and even after. It's free Young Thug, get that man home. And, yes, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, that depends also on what you did. So this is what I'll say. And I know it sounds fucked up to say, but I'm speaking the truth, at least my truth. As long as he didn't hurt a woman or a child, I'm free young thug.
Fuck the men. Fuck them.
Wow.
Sounds like what everybody else tells the fucking world. I'm gonna stop right there because the lyrics on the road to get canceled. So, I'll cut my comment, but
I'll put it this way too. I hope he didn't kill anybody. I hope that didn't happen. But
I don't know. I feel like it would be more likely that it was pulling strings to do things. But who knows? We'll find out. He'll have the day in court.
We don't know when the court is.
That's what I'm saying. We don't. If it's not set, we'll eventually that'll find out.
Speaking of another court case, are
it.
we ever going to get a YNW Melly trial, or did everybody just forget about him and he's just going to sit in prison with no trial? Because we're going on year number 5 now, 2023, and we got no
I
trial
got to bite my tongue again.
on YNW Melly.
Not necessarily Melly, but I was going to comment on something else of people being, put into prison cells and not getting a trial date and just being held prisoner. But again, it leads down a sticky road. So
I'm trying to think of any other big moments. I'm sure there was a lot.
not really music related, but the guy was a rapper. Will Smith smacking Chris Rock.
Yeah, let's talk movies.
Again, not a music thing.
Let's talk movies, and
Will
what better to
Smith's-
start with
Will
than the smack heard around the world?
Will Smith's a good transition there because you get a little bit of both.
That's
with him.
true.
I still think that it was planned. There's a lot of stuff that was going on in terms of information coming out in the news cycles and stuff like that, and all of a sudden he smacks Chris Rock and everything disappears, wiped under the rug.
As more time goes on from that, I can't believe I'm actually saying it, because originally I was actually kind of on Will's side. I've leaned more into Chris Rock's side as time went on.
It's a joke.
It's a
joke.
joke.
Fucking joke.
It's a joke. You laughed at it originally. You looked over. Your girl was butthurt. You're blaming it on being drunk. You walk on the stage. But then the thing that also I do go with you on this, I'll entertain your conspiracy. I will entertain it. Unless you've never been in any type of physical altercation by any means, you can't tell me that this man just got up out of his seat after you made a joke about his girl and he's beelining right towards you, that he's not about to raise a hand your way.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You knew it was coming.
nothing.
Yeah.
You had like 5-6 solid seconds right there to be like, oh shit, he's about to shove me or
Yeah.
hit me for real.
Yeah.
Didn't try backing up. Didn't try doing nothing. Like, I would have just started
You just
backing up.
ate
Like,
the
what are you
shot.
doing, buddy?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you did.
exactly.
you're not gonna hit me. I'm on this fucking stage. Like,
Mhm.
I would have just kept backing up until I'm like, is security gonna do anything about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like, what? You gonna take off running at me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, now what? Now how?
Because
worse
now,
did it get?
now if you start chasing me, it looks even worse for you.
That would have
Yeah,
looked worse. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like, if you
Yeah.
would have kept backing up and Will's just like getting faster to the point where Chris is like, hold on, y'all. Like, runs to the
I'm
back
outta
real
here.
quick. Like, and then that would
Let's
have
be
been.
realistic in a real fight. Chris Rock's whipping Will Smith's ass, right?
Yes.
I think so.
In a legit fight, Chris Rock would whip the fuck out of Will.
Yeah. I agree to that. Chris Rock would have took it back to that everybody hates Chris shit and been like, you know what I grew up in? Fuck you. I'm gonna let you bully me on my own stage.
What else movie wise? Oh, that disastrous film that is called Halloween Ends.
I love that movie.
Fuck no, that movie was so bad.
Love that movie.
No, that I could understand if that movie was where Halloween Kills was. That movie to end a series was a joke. You cannot hype up Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode and then give us that absolute shit show of a movie that doesn't even do anything to do with them until the last 10 fucking minutes.
I agree.
Absolute horrible way to end that series. Horrible way to send Michael off. Bunch of fucking chumps.
I
dude.
love Michael and his buddy, his little sidekick.
He bitched out Michael Myers, dude. He bitched out the big bad.
He's got
He-
that dog in him.
He
He
no.
had that dog in him. That's what he had. Michael ain't never encountered somebody who had that dog in him
No.
before. I remember not only did he show him up the first time.
Michael.
How about when he wrestled him? Remember when he wrestled
dumb
him?
As fuck. Dumb as fuck.
He took that dude down. He gave it.
Stupid
He
as
took
fuck.
Michael to Suplex City.
Dumb as
That shit was crazy.
Dumb as fuck.
He said, "Oh, you big motherfucker! I ain't
Horrible.
scared of you."
I almost turned that
Bitch.
movie off.
He goes, "You're over here." He goes, "Guess what?" He goes, "What's your one rule? Don't kill kids." That was my first kill, bitch. Michael's like, "Oh shit." He was like, "This guy." He goes, "This guy's a real deal." Like, He's looking
they're
back at
big
Jason
bad
like, "Get a load of this guy."
Michael Myers, ruthless killer that you made him out to be, ends up getting bitched out by some dude named Corey. Or
Yep.
Cody gets bitched out
Curly
by
Cody.
he gets bitched out by this weird looking dude named Cody, and gets all of like 10 minutes of screen time.
You know, I gotta say this though, real quick.
Terrible way.
You know
to
one
send him
flaw
out.
that I do actually now see in that movie, and it just hit me. Doesn't that kid get his ass beat by another kid at school in the beginning of the movie, or no?
Yes.
He does, right?
Yeah.
Because he's getting bullied.
Yeah.
And he gets like knocked down. Imagine what that guy could do to Michael Myers. Oh, he'd beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "You big ass bitch!" Like fucking grab him by the
No.
ear, yank him down.
They did
Like-
such a bad job.
And now that I
with
just
movie.
thought about that, yeah, that really made in WWE world they just made Michael look like shit.
So
They
I
just made the
will-
jobber beat up Michael Myers.
I will go as far to say is I will no longer watch any Halloween movie that's not the first two, the original two, 1978 and 1981.
You won't watch any other Halloweens?
Nope,
Rob Zombie.
no. I didn't like Rob Zombie's.
None of the new three?
I liked 2018. Halloween Kills was cool for what it was and was supposed to be, but the fact that you royally fucked up Halloween Ends now ruins those first two movies for me because I know
Yeah.
I will never get a good conclusion for them. So I don't want to watch them because I know where it now leads.
You know where it leads.
So I will stick to the original two because the original two were a perfect opener and sequel, case closed. Nothing else.
So you would have liked it more if they landed on the ending of like, is he dead? Is he not dead? Who knows?
Yes.
Like, we
Yes.
don't know. Is he still out there? Let your imagination run.
Yes, because that was what made the first one so good because it was no confirmation thing until the success happened that they were going to get a sequel. And what made that movie so scary is that Michael not only seemed real, he was going after victims that we see in everyday life. And at the end of the movie, spoilers, obviously, Loomis shoots him 6 times. He falls out of the balcony, and then you get the shot that he's gone. You leave that theater with the sense of, oh my God, this fucking maniac is still out there.
Yeah, he
And
got
it
up and
instilled
was
the
able to
fucking
go
fear
and
in you.
escape.
I would have preferred them ended at kills and let people think, oh my God, that maniac's still out there. It would have kept that fear. It would have brought back everything back to the way the original movie ended. And then you get
Well, now
An
it's like he gets
absolute
tossed in a
disaster.
fucking grinder or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that shit was. I thought Smile was a big moment.
I still
Smile
have to
was
see
good.
Smile, although I will say the one thing I know about it, they
I know
are
you love Smile too.
marketing geniuses for how they promoted that movie.
Yes.
Geniuses.
That movie was really well done, and I did see that it got nominated for a couple Golden Globes,
Ooh, nice.
which is like unusual for horror movies.
good.
And they did it all on a $17 million budget.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's fucking nuts.
That's fucking awesome.
The original Halloween's budget was like $300,000.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And think how much money that name has made.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking much. Dumb rich. I saw Babylon just went over like shit.
Haven't seen.
Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. It had an $80 million budget. Opening weekend made $5.5 million.
So I'm gonna kind of dig into number. You pay more attention to movies and numbers and stuff like that. A lot of Disney movies have been flopping at the box.
Yes.
What do you think the reason for that is?
Oversaturation.
I agree with that.
We're getting to a point where it's seeming a little oversaturated. So this year we got a couple Pixar movies, which is like,
Rare.
yeah, like usually it's like if you would have just gave us Lightyear, we'd be happy.
Mm.
But then in November you want to give us this thing
Well,
called
Lightyear flop. Lightyear didn't do that great.
box office wise. From what I remember seeing, it didn't do like Toy Story numbers, but it like
I wanna look
still
this
did
up.
all right.
I want to look.
Yeah,
at
Lightyear
box
did
office.
all right actually.
Lightyear did.
Strange World did fucking terrible
Yeah.
with Jake Gyllenhaal. That had like a $300 million budget and only made like $20 million at the box office. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, technically being Disney, just helped bail them out. And Avatar helped bail them out. But Avatar was looking rocky there for a minute.
Yeah.
But then Christmas weekend just happened and it boomed. So
So I'm looking at the top 10 biggest flops in 2022 at the box.
actually start
office.
from number 1 for me.
All right, so let's see what we got.
I want to see if I remember seeing the numbers.
Bros. Budget was $22 million and did $14.8 million at the box office.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Cyrano, Syrano, had a budget of $30 million and it only did $6.4 million in the box office. Blacklight had a
I remember
budget,
hearing about that movie.
budget of
that
40 budget of $43 million, box office $16 million.
Yeah, I saw that was a flop, and the movie was also bashed by critics.
Turning Red,
Yeah, that was Pixar.
a budget of $175 million and it did $20.1 million at the box office.
Yeah, that was the other Pixar movie that I
Oh
said
my
was a
God.
flop.
The
Yeah.
355.
You think
This
somebody got
one's not-
fired on that one?
Yeah.
This one's not that bad, but it's not good. The 355 budget of between 40 to 75 million at box office 27.
What movie?
The 355.
Gotcha.
Moonfall had a budget of between 138 and 146 million. Box office 67.
Gerard Butler in that?
It doesn't say.
Does
Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, Matthew
Ah.
McConaughey, Matt Damon.
No, different movie I'm thinking of.
Amsterdam,
Yes, I saw that flop.
80 mil, box office 31.2. Lightyear. Okay, this one's not okay. They were successful, but they're still, for whatever reason, have this listed as a flop. Budget of 200 million, box office 226. So my guess is that they're gonna call it a flop
Because it didn't do Toy Story numbers.
because it barely beat.
Well, if you
what
look
the
at it too,
budget
Toy
was.
Story
Yeah.
4 did like 800 million. So it was
Yeah.
like, oh, what
I
the
think
fuck?
with this economy and all that, I would say that's good.
Strange World.
Yeah.
That was another Disney movie.
Budget between 135 and 180 million, and only box office 54.1.
Mhm.
So, and that's the same people that did Turning Red.
Yeah.
So it's like now you just lost a collective total of like $150 million.
I haven't seen those movies. I'd like to see them to see what the content
Okay.
is too, because
I've seen Turning Red.
I know.
Definitely.
I'm not saying this is to like
Grabbing
stir
another brewski.
I'm not gonna say this to stir a pot, but like, I do truly know people who won't let their kids watch that because of the message that the movies present.
Which one?
Just
Turning Red?
the Disney ones, Disney specifically.
Oh, gotcha.
So like, I'm curious to know if it is more oversaturation or if it's more people thinking the way my friends
Right.
that do this with their kids are. You know,
I
or is it like a combination of both? Is it
can
like
see a combination, but I can see more of the saturation.
yeah?
I saw a lot of people bashing how like Pixar movies are just like copy and paste of the same story.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's just a different whatever. It's like we're just all learning the same thing over and over.
It's
again.
not even just them either. I feel like there's just no good original ideas across the board. I guess movie wise coming up, one thing that I'm looking forward to after seeing the trailer is the new Scream movie. Like Scream's one of my
Scream
it's
trailer?
my favorite. Yeah, it's my
Jenna Ortega.
Scream's my favorite franchise. I loved the 2022 movie. I think they killed it. They did such a great job. The new cast is awesome. And they released the trailer for this new movie that's coming out, I think, in March of 23. And it looks cool. So it's like it's Scream, but it takes place in New York City. And like just the trailer looked super cool. It showed you the surviving cast from the 2022 movie. I'm hoping for something a little more original in the movie. Like in all Scream movies, we've seen two killers, right? Except the third where it was just Roman. Spoiler, sorry. But like
That's all good.
I feel like this one I would like something fresh. Like we keep seeing two. What if we do 3 or 4? Or like what if we just get like a bunch of people in on it? And do something that like a horror movie's never seen, where you just don't expect anything you get.
Maybe the killers
Just-
have like no correlation to the other one even. too.
Right. Maybe it's
They're
just
all killing.
To where you're
They
like
don't
trying to
understand.
figure out like, yeah, and then like they even end up finding out like, oh wait, there's somebody else. Like, oh shit.
That'd be pretty cool.
like I'd like to see like if they do like 3 or 4, just so you get like a legit like something just new. Because like I said, I feel like it's just become like a common practice for Scream movies to have 2 killers.
What if they make it look like it's only 3 of them doing the killings, but it's really 4?
Well, that's right.
And
They just,
three of them end up dying, and it looks like, oh, they got
They're
all
gone.
three of them, but the one got away.
and
the
then
one
you
gets
set up the
away.
next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
I like
cool.
perfect idea.
We're trying to give you
I'm
ideas,
really-
Paramount.
I'm really excited for it. I want to see if they come up with and
March,
how they
right?
follow, Yeah, I want to see how they follow up. What was a really really good sequel.
I'm excited for the Cocaine Bear.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I just thought of something. I got to get this charger plugged in.
Has that Winnie the Pooh horror remake come out yet?
I don't believe
No, but I
Honey,
saw,
what is
like,
it?
a
Honey,
trailer.
what is it? Honey and blood and honey, or honey and guts, or something like
So
that.
Honey and Guts.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's
It
just
looks
gas.
like Nightmare Fuel. Like if you've seen the mask and shit and makeup for that
Yeah.
shit in the movie, it looks like Nightmare Fuel. But it also looks like one of those movies that could be like
Really cheesy.
the Leprechaun movies.
yeah,
Dude,
that's what I feel like.
but those
it's
are
gonna
the
be.
best kind of horror movies. They're just like they're so
Those-
dumb that they're fun.
Yeah, laughable in the sense.
You got hope for it, is what you're saying?
I do. I'm not gonna call it hope, but it's gonna like bring more attention to that like B movie. It's gonna bring more attention to that like B movie subgenre of the horror genre.
But the new Batman came out this year. Or was it last year?
Yeah, the new Batman came out in March. That is true.
I didn't see the new Batman.
That was pretty
Not
good.
big into.
I saw that with
superhero
Robert
movies.
Pattinson. I did see that Henry Cavill got pulled
Yeah.
from being Superman, and
Yeah.
The Rock says that he no longer wants anything to do with Black Adam.
Mhm.
Why?
Flop.
That flopped.
Yeah, that was a flop. That critically flopped too. A lot of people didn't. I actually watched it on HBO. I thought it was bad. So if The Rock can't save him, if the Brahma Bull, the People's Champ, can't save a movie, throw it in the trash.
Well, I mean, they're redoing the whole DC stuff now. James Gunn is now running.
They even fired the girl who played Wonder Woman. That's how you know shit's fucked up.
Yeah.
At the very least, you should have had her stay on set.
Anybody follow Star Wars?
I do.
Are we supposed to get
Oh.
Star Wars anytime soon?
New show, new seasons, new
Watch
Mandalorian
shows. I don't
season,
Watch TV shows.
new Kenobi.
I don't watch TV shows. I want movies.
They're still continuing Kenobi.
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm not. I
thought it
can't
was a
say for
limited
sure,
series, that's why.
but I can't say for sure. I might have fucked that up, to be honest. But I know that they are doing another season of Mando.
Yeah.
That's coming soon.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
I want to see who this baby Yoda ends up being. Is it the real Yoda? Is it Yoda offspring? I want to know.
This might be a hot take, but I'm super excited for the new Super Mario movie coming out next year.
Oh yeah,
I
with Chris
haven't seen
Pratt, right?
Yeah,
didn't
When's
see
that come
that.
out?
March.
Oh, that's
April.
March too.
I think it's April actually.
I know we get the new Fast and Furious this year, and I'm actually pumped for that. I do like those movies. I know they're at the point where they're going to be driving on Rainbow Road with Mario.
Yeah, right.
Where do you go next? I thought it was so funny when they're like, "Oh yeah, Fast and Furious is eventually they're gonna go to space," and then the director this time's like, "You might be onto something," and I'm over here like, "Guys, wrap it up." I'm like, "You're really taking the fan advice of go to space
Yeah, right.
in a vehicle? How are you gonna pull that one off?"
Leprechaun went to space.
How'd he get there?
I don't even know if the movie actually explains that. I think it just starts off in space.
All right.
But he's a leprechaun that can do magic and shit, so he can do whatever he wants to.
That's actually hilarious.
Dude, those movies. Have you seen them?
The Leprechauns?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen all
You
of
should
them,
definitely watch all of them.
but there's
There's
like
like-
5.
There's a few. There's Leprechaun. There's Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, where I think he goes to like Vegas.
Where's the one where he's in the hood?
It's literally Leprechaun. There's Vegas. So the third one, which is Vegas. The fourth one, I think they go to space, and then you get Lep in the hood. And then you get like
That one's the best.
Then you get Leprechaun returns to the hood. Then there's
He had to make the
Leprechaun
return.
or Leprechaun Origins, and then Leprechaun Returns. And I actually think they're in production of another Leprechaun.
gas.
Like I love them. They're such dumbass movies, but they're just so fun. Like there's just something about it where it's like, man, this movie's so dumb, but you can't help but watch it. It's like Little Nicky.
I'm a.
Oh, yeah.
It's a stupid fucking movie, but it's fun to watch.
That's
Put
like
the meat in your mouth and let it slide down your throat hole.
pause. Pause.
Unpause.
Oh, that's funny as shit. Yeah, no, it was a great year for movies. I'm sure we forgot about, other great movies that came out. I thought Unbearable Weight, Massive Talent. Nick Cage was great. That was the first movie I saw at the theater this year. TV-wise, though, any TV shows that jumped out?
I don't know if it's if it's new or not, but my dad's got me hooked on this show called Longmire on Peacock.
Okay.
It's like a sheriff whose town borders with Indian Indian land, and he has no jurisdiction in the Indian part of that town. So like, it's pretty interesting. There's all kinds of like subplots and
Cheers,
stuff that go
everybody! My
on
new
where,
Budweiser limited edition mug.
certain people are trying to build casinos on land and people end up missing and this, that, the other. It's a really fun show. I've missed bits and pieces because he watched episodes without me, and it's on Peacock, which I have. So my plan is to go through and watch it. But from everything I've seen, episode wise, it's one of those shows where once you start watching, you really can't stop.
Oh,
Gotcha.
That's good.
I just recently started watching actually a show. I know it's not new, but it has new episodes coming out, so I guess it still counts, so I'll say it. I'm just playing catch up right now. Show's called Manifest.
Heard of it?
It just came on Netflix, but with me it was a little different. So I started watching it years ago on TV because my dad started watching it. But then when he fell off with it, I just, stopped kind of coming around to it. I wasn't that far into it yet or that invested. But I saw that it came on Netflix, and I was like, oh, I remember the plot of the show. This plane leaves for a flight. They come back 5 years later, but to them it was only one flight. And I actually really love the Twilight Zone angle that show takes, but then it shows how the government's involved and all this different stuff, and it's actually really awesome. I think you did that. I saw something in your face. Does that sound like something you might dig?
Go fucking figure. The government's involved with the plane going missing.
Yeah.
Malaysian flight, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Go fucking figure. The government's involved. Who would have thought?
But
Also, Becky with the wild hair because they got cut by Bianca. Badass.
oh yeah, Becky's cheeked up too.
Oh yeah, love me some Becky Lynch.
Big time Bex, baby. But yeah, no, I've watched Manifest show's been great. Have you watched that show?
No, I have not.
I definitely recommend. It's only thing is it's about 40-minute episodes, but I've just been putting it on in the background at night and shit, and really getting into it. Easy to follow too, not too complicated. Another show, obviously, Stranger Things put out a new season.
Yep, that was
that two-parter this year. That really jumped out at me. Love that show. Trying to think of some other stuff. Oh, The Crew with Kevin James came out at the beginning of the year on Netflix.
I didn't see that.
I actually really liked that. I thought that was a great show. And I have been watching a lot of Hard Knocks. I got caught up, and now I'm actively watching the new season with the Arizona Cardinals. Love that show.
Arizona
That's a really
have
good
a Hard
show.
Knocks.
Yeah, and they're struggling right
You want to
now.
give me a Hard Knocks? Give me Denver. Denver's the Hard Knocks.
Well,
51 points.
they do. You sounded like Pat McAfee there for a second. They had
Thank you. Shout out Pat McAfee.
They had fuck me, I can't think. I lost my train of thought on this one possibly. Yeah. You know what? I might have to just get back to it because I don't want to tap my finger on this table too much longer. But I think I forgot my train of thought on that one, so I'll let that one fall to the wayside.
Football wise,
yeah.
Justin Fields had a pretty good moment the other
That's
day.
what I meant to say.
That
So,
shit was so funny.
so Hard Knocks did the Detroit Lions in preseason, and then they do preseason and the first half of the season, and then they do the second half of the season and the postseason, and they usually have been hitting it spot on for the past couple seasons because the past couple years, last year they had the Colts who made that run. The year before that they had the Niners, which that was one of my favorite seasons. But the one with the Cardinals is not going to the postseason, so they had to put a thing out of after we're just going to show how they prep for the off season and kind of do it that way because usually they try to grab playoff teams, but ever since the Hard Knocks has started shooting for the Cardinals, they haven't won a game. So it's
It's like a jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
now it's gonna become the Hard Knocks curse where
I will say,
and in the one episode too, remember I mentioned that coach is funny?
Yeah.
He walked past the one cameraman that's on their sideline during a game when Kyler just threw his third pick, And he looks at me and goes, I swear to God, man. He goes, this gets any more worse. He goes, I'm going to ask you guys to get off the field. Y'all play for real. Like he was like actually looking at him like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
I don't know. There's been some really bad football being played the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
This year, the whole league's just kind of mediocre this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no real standout team. Like, not even Buffalo at this point. Like, I think
Eagles
they got,
look
like,
great.
what?
Well, yeah, Eagles is the only team.
I mean, even then though, the Eagles just collapsed against Dallas.
there's an asterisk on that.
it was a close game.
Jalen Hurts is hurt. They had
It's
Gardner
not
Minshew.
not an excuse.
They had Gardner fucking Minshew.
Not an excuse.
I think that it
Next
losing
man
by a
up.
tutty.
Fuck that. Next man up.
Lose by a
You
tutty.
still a loss is a loss.
Yeah, but it's still a
And
close
it's good.
game, and Cowboys is not.
Yeah.
a
I
shit team.
underst-
They're
I
still a good
understand.
Yeah,
team.
it's not like the Cowboys. Like if I would agree with you if the Eagles like, oh, who'd they lose to? They lost to the Jaguars.
But just
Yeah,
like across
oh, they
the
lost to
league,
the
I would-
Jaguars. I'd be like,
I still
fuck.
wouldn't say that the Eagles are the clear-cut favorite. I would still say right now, if I had to pick a clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl, I don't know if I could. Like, I truly don't know that I could. I couldn't say
gonna
Buffalo. I couldn't say Buffalo. I couldn't sit here and argue Philly, and I don't know that there's a strong enough case for the Niners. Although I think the Niners have the strongest case out of those three.
Thank you. Well, I'll just start like this. I'll tell you what I think the NFC Championship's going to look like, and I'll tell you what the AFC Championship I think is going to look like. NFC Championship, Vikings versus the 49ers. I think that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
AFC Championship, I know you guys are going to hate me for saying it because we've seen it a lot recently. I think it's the Chiefs versus the Bills.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
And who advances to the Super Bowl? Again, hate to say it. I'm just being honest. I'm not letting my bias get in the way. Fear the faithful will always, baby. And I'm sorry, Niners, for saying it. If I'm a betting man, I go Vikings make it to the Super Bowl. But it's a close game. I think the Chiefs blow out the Bills. And you got the Chiefs and the Vikings. I think it's an any man's game.
That second one I disagree with.
But I'm going to give it
I think
to the Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs defense. I have the Chiefs defense in fantasy. Their defense is not that great.
Doesn't
And-
matter. You can't stop their offense. You make one mistake and that defense capitalizes on it. You have to punt the ball.
Buffalo's the exact
Patrick
same
Mahomes
way.
goes up.
Buffalo's the exact same way.
Only difference that I'll say is I see Patty make plays that Josh Allen just doesn't. Like that play that he just made the other day, that freak run where then he extended his fucking arm out and Patty got it across the pylon. Josh Allen threw a pick. I'm just saying, Patty Mahomes finishes the game, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, no pick, no fumble. Josh Allen, 1, 2
Anything
touchdowns.
can happen in any
pick.
game, though. How many picks has Patrick Mahomes thrown this year?
I don't think many. From what I've seen, I don't think many. Worth a look up, but I don't think many.
He's great. Not taking anything away.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of getting sick of the Chiefs, but they're a great ball club. The
Yeah.
chemistry's crazy.
I just like their coach. Their coach is
Andy
funny as
Reid,
fuck.
he's
Andy
a good
Reid.
coach.
Yeah, Andy Reid's funny as fuck. They gifted him a cheeseburger, and he got happy as fuck.
That's what that was what he wanted too. After he won that Chiefs Super Bowl, he's like, yeah, he goes, you
Cheeseburger
don't
and a
got to
beer.
do all the cake stuff. He goes, just give me a cheeseburger and a beer. He goes, this season was tough. They did too, and they gave him that cheeseburger. They're like, we made one for you. That thing had like 3 patties, juice just oozing out. He's like, thank you.
This is it.
Yeah, like. No, he's a good coach.
I'm not going to tell you which quarterback it's for because I'm looking up 2 different stats.
Okay.
The first one I looked up was 11, so just remember the number 11.
11 picks.
Just remember the number 11.
Do you happen to see how many touchdowns they threw, though, too?
I'll look it back up. Give me a sec. Actually, closer than I thought interception-wise. The second one's 13. This touchdown number, remember this one, 32.
Okay. So somebody threw 13 picks and has 32 touchdowns.
So this year, Patrick Mahomes had 11 interceptions and 37 touchdowns. Josh Allen had 13 picks and how many touchdowns did I say?
32.
So it's like they're very close.
But who is just a little bit better? And it
There's
doesn't even
no I in team.
and
No I in team.
and hold on. Both situations, no run game, and Patty Mahomes, less threats wide receiver wise. Yes, he has Kelsey, but over here you got Dawson Knox, you got Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Chiefs. You got fucking
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju Smith-Schuster, which is hit or miss. You got Travis Kelce.
With Travis getting a large bulk of those throws. There's a reason Travis puts up damn near 40 points every
Also,
week in
what's those
fantasy
teams'
football.
records?
I think the Bills have 3 losses.
And the Chiefs only have 2? Or the Chiefs only have 3?
Let's see. We'll figure it out. In a shootout, I think the Bills take it overall. I'm not looking at just the QBs.
I will say
in
what-
terms of overall play.
You know what I think the
Bills-
X factor of that game is? The defenses. Because the Bills have a better defense than the Chiefs for sure.
Well, that's the point.
really
Defense.
good
Defense.
offense.
What's the old saying? Defense wins championships.
They're going to have to really lock the fuck out of Patty. If I'm the Bills and I'm going into that game, you got to lock the fuck out of Patty and let our offense cook on him. Because if you can't lock Patty down, he's going to get points on the board, whether it be a field goal or a fucking touchdown every trip.
They're both 12-3.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So they're both 12-3.
Vikings are also 12-3. And
That's
then you
good.
got the Eagles are 13-2. And then you get the Niners and the Bengals at 11-4. So you get
We've
you got
been on a
couple
winning
of teams-
streak.
I do.
We got to rock with Brock Purdy, baby. That's our savior.
There's just something I like about that. Like, cause I'm not gonna say I like the team. There's just like there's players on the team that I like and they're fun. They're really fun to watch.
Which team?
The Cincinnati Bengals. Like, there's just something about that team that when I see them playing, I just want to watch them. Like, there's just something.
They're a fun
about
team to
that
watch.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow doesn't mind
Like,
slinging that bitch
Well, there's
down the
that,
field.
and then there's also the fact that I think, and this might be a hot take, maybe, I think the Bengals have one of the best receiving cores in the league. Hand for
It's not a hot
hand,
take.
Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins.
I wouldn't call that a hot take.
That is a great lineup of receivers.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great lineup. I mean, I actually think I would stand that as one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. When healthy,
Yes.
for sure.
Well, I like you could take Boyd and Higgins elsewhere, and
I'd
they
say
could
the same
probably-
for
they could probably be number ones. on
I'd
this
say
list.
the same for the 49ers, but the healthiness is just never there. So it's not even like a wishful thing.
Mm. Higgins on if Higgins played for Cleveland, be a number one.
Yeah. I don't
Same
think
thing with Boyd.
I'll talk about the Browns for a second. I think they're a fucking dumpster fire. I really
Yeah.
do. Like,
No, their problem is that Kevin Stefanski refuses to get their same problem that Ohio State has. The head coach is calling the plays on offense, and the offenses are not performing.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the point of having an offensive coordinator if you're not going to let him coordinate your offense?
and I feel like the play calling is so sporadic. It never makes a lick of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Nick Chubb just bursted a 40-yard run on him.
4th and 1.
We'll
and Nick
run him
Chubb's-
in like fucking
4th and 1, and Chubb's not on the field.
Yeah, we'll run him in like 10 fucking plays.
That's just
The,
crazy.
the lack of using Chubb is blowing my mind.
Especially
When
in
you
this
have
past
that much
weekend's
talent.
weather.
It's
Yeah.
almost weird.
Yeah, you have this much talent and you're not using
Like,
it.
it's almost like if I'm Chubb, it's like asking Stefanski, like, do you have like something against me?
Right, yeah.
Like what could this possibly be? Because like you said, why in the fucking world is it -1 outside, cold as dick, and it's
With
4th
very
and
heavy
2, and we
winds.
throw the ball 30 yards down the field?
With very heavy wind.
Like
Yeah.
4th and 2, throw the ball 30 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Yuck! Like when I see that shit, I'm like, what
To
the
be
fuck?
fair, I mean, I'm a Steeler fan, and I could say this like bitch about Pittsburgh's play calling like that. It'll be fucking 2nd and 20, and they'll throw a 2-yard screen pass.
Oh, so you guys be doing that dumb shit too sometimes?
Oh yeah.
Well,
That was our
Pittsburgh's
biggest thing
offensive
this year.
coordinator needs to go. If the
Man,
first
Canada can't really
if the
call it
first
plays.
order of business in Pittsburgh in the offseason is not to fire Matt Canada, I don't know what their first order.
Who, okay,
of
who
business
is
would
it?
be.
You just said the name too. Who is the guy?
He's the
He's
offensive
the offensive
coordinator.
coordinator.
He
He's
sucks.
bad.
He's not good. He calls
My
like
issue is
he
that
calls-
he uses the same play over and over.
he
again.
calls a college level offense in the pros
Yeah.
that never wins. That will never win, ever.
You guys win some games.
He
The
lit-
players, I'm gonna chalk that more up to Mike Tomlin and his defense.
Mike Tomlin being like, I'm gonna bail your ass
There's
out
some
of this.
4D chess that
But like,
Tomlin does with his
there's
defense.
there's video of Pittsburgh players coming off the field, and like it'll be after a win, and Matt Canada will be like hugging and high fiving Mike Tomlin, and be like, "Yeah, let's go celebrate this win," and players are like, "Yeah, you had no part in doing that."
Oh wow!
Like the players don't like him. Mitch Trubisky made a comment that said they refuse, like Canada refuses to like let him check out of certain
Yeah.
plays, and
That was a
I'm
big
sure if
issue.
they're not letting Mitch do it, my guess is they're not letting Pickett do it.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Like-
When Pickett came out, he was doing the same thing as Trubisky. So then everybody was like, "Well, it's not a quarterback issue; it's a freaking."
it's a system issue.
And then
Yeah.
you look at like their offensive line. There is improvement from last year, but they're still not great. I still think that they need to draft a ready to go, can start day one tackle that knows what the fuck he's doing, knows his job, and can handle business. You would get a couple of improvements on that line. Najee Harris goes nuts. You get protection for Kenny Pickett.
I will say I can tell something's going on with that offense because why the fuck doesn't Najee? Why isn't he a top 5 running back in the league?
Well, you have to keep
He did get injured, didn't he?
So that's my thing. He's dealing.
When did he get hurt?
So he's
Beginning
all
of the
season.
season.
All season he's been hurt. He's dealing with the Lisfranc fracture in his foot, which is an injury that they said never truly will like mend. And he's playing with this like a carbon fiber plate in his shoe. That on top of a not good offensive line is
Wow.
not a recipe for success. That being said,
You also got a QB that's green as fuck.
that being
Kenny Pickett.
yes, but that being said, I think that if Pittsburgh can get a capable offensive coordinator and improve a couple of spots on their offensive line, just 1 or 2 spots, that offense is completely different.
Oh, 100%. They have a lot of potential.
Yes,
A
the
lot of potential.
the potentials, the fact that this team has been playing so bad all season and is still somehow in the hunt for a playoff spot says
Mhm.
numbers for
Oh, you guys aren't mathematically eliminated.
not yet.
No.
They're still technically in.
Okay.
They
somehow.
came back.
Somehow
somehow came back.
on the year anniversary.
What has to happen for you guys to get in? Are you guys at that level yet?
Uh,
It's
we
the
need to
Dolphins
win
or
both?
something.
And yeah,
Ravens need to lose.
I think so. We play,
No, I think
well,
Ravens are in.
We play Baltimore again.
Ravens got in.
I think Ravens got in.
What time we got? I gotta keep an eye on time.
But
30. Get ready to leave here soon.
Gotcha.
yeah, NFL season's been crazy.
I gotta work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, back to work for everybody.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
well-
love my job, so it's cool. I just
Yeah, I'm
Need
talking.
my- need
You know,
my rest.
I'm trying to think sport moment wise to recap the year.
Brock lifting the ring was cool as fuck.
Oh, we're gonna incorporate wrestling with it.
Of course.
Okay, so we'll incorporate wrestling sports. Rams winning the Super Bowl. I think Matt Stafford getting his first ring was tight.
Only ring. He ain't getting another one.
No. He got his one. That's okay, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see him get another one anyway.
Same
So
thing with
get your
Odell.
ring. You played on the
Like, maybe
Lions.
hot take, but Odell same way. He's probably not getting another.
Fuck him.
I agree. He's trying to cherry pick because he wants.
I
the
hope he
ring.
gets a paper cut on his
I'm
tongue from a
sorry.
razor and a paper cup.
To me, he's lived up to that one catch, or he's had that one catch that everyone knows him for.
Fluke.
He came in and helped that team.
Great catch.
Undoubtedly
What a
helped.
fluke.
Undoubtedly helped that team win a Super Bowl. But now he's at a point where he's coming back and he's trying to cherry pick the team because he wants to put himself strictly in a position to win, which I understand, but not to me the classy way to do it. That's why I don't like Kevin Durant.
Fuck Kevin Durant.
You don't take the easy route to getting the ring.
Draymond Green
No
calls you
sense of-
crying in the parking
No,
lot.
it's hoe mentality. There's no sense of loyalty.
Careful, he's gonna punch you.
Yeah, it's true. See here. Wrestling wise, thought there was a lot of great matches this year. Love
Logan
seeing
Paul.
he had a great trip.
Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. Logan Paul's a scumbag.
Mhm.
There's another scam he's involved with where he scammed people out of millions of dollars with
The crypto zoo.
the crypto zoo.
Yeah.
So fuck Logan Paul, but god damn that man put on a fucking hell of a performance.
been doing
against
good.
Roman Reigns.
He has been doing good. I got to give him that.
I don't like his brother still. Fuck his brother.
Think it's overall. I love seeing Triple H take over halfway through the year.
Dude, WWE headed in such a good direction under Trips. Such a good direction.
Yeah, the Stephanie and Triple H era has been great. Been very kind to
I
us.
feel like more of that has to do with Trips than Steph, but
Oh yeah. I mean, I even
Well, they
saw
said
that like
that-
straight from the rip. She was like, "Look, this is your thing. Like, have fun."
he walked in from what the report that I heard from What Culture was is that like as soon as they took over, he walked up to her with a list of names and said, "Sign these people."
Yeah.
So I have all the faith. My only thing is there are talents that I would like to see him push a little bit better. Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Wrestling.
I want to see him push Ciampa.
He hasn't even been on TV.
Yeah, no. Is he hurt?
They don't know what to do with him.
Of course not. Love Tommaso Ciampa, and he deserves a push. And
Yeah, sometimes that happens
I-
in wrestling. They're like, "We got to put you on the sideline because we literally don't know what to do with you."
and I really, really would like to see them give Finn another run at the title. I think this
They
point-
might be leaning in towards that.
They
'Cause
need
I
to.
heard a rumor though that they want to do a Hell in the Cell match at the Rumble and have Demon Finn Balor go against Edge. But if they do that, they got to start building that here soon, like next
I mean, I'm
Monday.
cool with it, but like, I want Finn to have a title, like a proper title run.
With the Judgment Day.
What would that first run have been if he didn't fuck his shoulder up?
Would have been crazy.
Right? Like to just think about what he did to come in his debut. And that was kind of taken away, and Vince's mentality of injury. Once you're injured, you're probably not
You're no
getting-
good to
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I really would like to see him give Finn a proper push and give that title to Finn. Finn deserves it. He's been busting his ass. I think it's time. And I think 2023 him, and I would even argue that Sami Zayn deserves a run with the title. Sammy should be the one to dethrone
He
him.
deserves it, but I don't think he's gonna get it. And I don't think he'll be the one to dethrone Roman.
He should.
I think at this point, if it's gonna be somebody dethroning Roman, it's Cody.
I get it. I get why Cody's story makes more sense, but fuck, dude, Sami Zayn is just so good. And Sammy deserves a run with that title.
I do know that because of how long they've waited and how long they've built this reign, which I do acknowledge the tribal chief, that they got to be really fucking careful with how they do this. And I'm sure that's already been in the conversation. Like, as soon as they took over,
Dude, they've got such a slow
I feel like
burn for
Triple H
this.
is like, oh, fuck, how do I do this? You know what I mean? Like, oh, how do I do this?
They have such a
He probably even low-key asked Vince, like, just out of curiosity, what were you going to do? Like, I'd actually like to ask him that question, like, just for fun. Like, Vince, I'm just curious, now that you're done, we can ask these questions. What did you have planned? Like, where was your end goal with that? Like, who was he going to lose to?
Solo Sikoa runs him over with the car and then cuts a promo and says, "I did it for The Rock," and then The Rock beats him at Mania.
Solo Sikoa goes under the ring and he comes back out and he's just a reincarnated Umaga.
I did it for The Rock.
Umaga comes out from under the ring. That would have been crazy.
He's like clone of.
You imagine that long-term booking? They faked Umaga's death all those years ago just for him to pop out from under the ring and Samoan Spike Roman.
R.I.P. Umaga.
R.I.P.
Bro, imagine
Umaga!
imagine if Umaga was still going and he was in the bloodline.
He would have been the Samoan Bulldozer.
R.I.P. Umaga.
R.I.P. Umaga.
Also, anybody
And-
remember that one match with him and Jeff where they were climbing up the
Yes, I
semi-truck?
sure fucking do.
They
EC,
climbed-
not
They climbed
ECW.
up a semi-truck and Rikishi,
One night stand.
Umaga fell off the back and then Jeff Swanton above
One
the
night
top
stand,
of the semi.
2007.
Damn.
But you know what? You actually just mentioned it when you said R.I.P. Umaga. Before we close out the show, is there anything we want to talk about that you guys wanted to bring up from 2022? Are we ready to close the 2022 book and bring
Now
in the
that-
new year?
Yeah, now that we're at the end of this, can I talk my conspiracy shit real quick?
Get it off real quick. Get your
All
shit
right,
off.
real quick.
Watch where you're going with it, though.
I'll
depending
keep it-
on- I don't know where he's going
I'll
with
keep
this.
it short and sweet. Read the Twitter files that these journalists Elon's got posting have been putting out, because people called me crazy for shit I was talking about, and now these are all like everything I talked about that's called crazy for is now proven true. So you need to read it. It's super important because it does affect everybody in the United States and the country going forward.
Oh.
And you need to read it. It's very, very important information, and the public needs to know about it. So just do yourself the favor and research the info in there. I won't touch on what's there on screen, but definitely very important.
Take a look.
Take a look. It's very important.
Gotcha. And on that note, I do want to let you guys know before I close it out in a way where unfortunately I bring the mood down just a tad, but I'll end it on a nice note. This Sunday, New Year's Day, we do got a loser's bracket matchup. Winner advances back into the winner's bracket. It's a redemption battle.
14 rounds.
14 rounds. Anything goes. Kasky versus Asher Roth. He's got Kasky. I got my boy Asher Roth. And on that note, before we close out the year, there was a lot of great people, and I'm sure there's thousands of names that I'm going to forget. But I just want to say everybody that unfortunately will not be making it into 2023, I'm going to take a sip for you. That goes to R.I.P. Big Scar. Unfortunately, just passed away. Here we go again. R.I.P. Young Dolph. R.I.P. Takeoff. R.I.P. Trying to think of. I know there was. I'm missing deaths. PNB Rock. R.I.P. to anybody that unfortunately has gone too soon, whether that be for any reason, and anybody that passed away too of natural causes in the entertainment world. We appreciate all your contributions. We appreciate your work. We love y'all. R.I.P. to you guys. Thank you for creating beautiful work and allowing us to talk about it on this show and carry it with us in our lives. We appreciate you every step of the way. R.I.P. and condolences to those families. Sending very much love to close out the new year. This one's for you.
I don't have a beer, but
And on that note, this was Pull Up a Chair, episode 21, Unexpected Stocking Stuffers, because we missed you guys too much and we're just so happy to be back. We'll see you guys this Sunday. Close out your year with a bang. 27 laps out now, available all streaming services. That's TUKE space LENKKU. Anywhere you listen to music, whether that be Omegle, Pornhub, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Deezer, Weezer, Skeezer. I'm there. We live.
who the fuck's listening to music on Pornhub?
Hey, you don't know where I listen to my shit at. That's where I find my undiscovered artists. But on that note, hope we all have a blessed and wonderful rest of the week ourselves. Thank you for joining me on this great episode, closing out the year 2022. You were kind to me. You were the best year of my life. I got married. A lot of great things happened. I had a blast. And 2023 is going to be a great year as well. We're bringing it in with immaculate energy one more time, because I'm not saying it for a battle this week, and I'm going to miss saying it until next Sunday. To my right, I got the CEO of Crunch Media, Nick Fatika. To my left, I got Scooter McGavin. Scotty doesn't know. Sitting right in front of you talking as we speak. It's El Tigre Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei. The one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything you motherfucking knows, a.k.a. Space Mountain Stoney, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, a.k.a. Stoney Montana, a.k.a. Mr. Keep the Love High and the motherfucking Hate Low, a.k.a. call me anything you will, just don't call me broke or sad. Everybody have a blessed, wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas once again to you guys. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.